That was it.
In terms of milk.
Right.
And what do you know of as the effects of this? And then, sorry.
I'll start with that since I'm the main critic of RBG. Recombinant bovine growth hormone was one of the first genetically engineered drugs that was allowed on the market. It was produced by Monsanto. It was formally approved in the fall of 1993 and allowed on the market in 1994. It's basically a hormone that's one amino acid different than the natural, so it's not the same as the natural. They inject it into cows and it increases milk production. It also increases disease rates, it increases mastitis and all sorts of other health problems and causes more drugs to be used to treat those health problems, but that's another story. And it actually says that. The label, when it was approved, lists 20 different adverse health problems, and it says on the label, for example, the trade name is Posilac. Posilac is associated with increased frequency of medication in cows for mastitis and other health problems. So it increases the use of antibiotics and other drugs, causes health problems in animals. It increases in the milk the levels of not the growth hormone itself, but the way it works to stimulate milk production is that it stimulates the production of another hormone called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor number 1. And the reason that's important is because bovine growth hormone is about 35% different than human growth hormone, so human growth hormone doesn't have much impact on cows and vice versa. However, IGF-1, that's the hormone that actually stimulates the mammary glands to produce milk. And IGF-1 in cows is the exact same molecule as it is in humans. So it's the same, and turns out IGF-1 levels are increased in milk from cows that are treated with bovine growth hormone, and IGF-1 is one of the main mechanisms for a wide range of cancers: breast cancer, colorectal cancer, bone cancer, and prostate cancer. Those have all been shown to be the result of increased IGF-1 levels. So BGH is the main health concern is potential increased consumption of IGF-1 and this linked to cancer, and then it would also be the increase of antibiotic residues in milk, and that can select for antibiotic-resistant bacteria. And the industry will say, but all bulk tanks of milk are tested for antibiotics. The answer to that is, well, yes, that's true, but what do they test for? They do simple tests that look for basically penicillin and the other antibiotics in the penicillin family. So if you're using an antibiotic that the test doesn't test for, then it's nothing. So those are the main two health problems. And even though it was approved in 1993, what's basically happening now is it's being driven off the market because more and more firms are going RBGH free, and Walmart and Wawa and even Kraft. And then this year, both in the yogurt, both Yoplait and Dannon have gone RBGH free. So the market's working on that area. But RBGH, it's an engineered molecule. It will appear in the milk at some level, but the animal is not engineered, and the milk itself is not engineered, although there will be traces of RBGH in the milk, which is an engineered molecule.
And just one quick follow-up question on that. Does that affect early menstruation in girls, drinking all that milk with these hormones? You just described that it does create an increase in hormones in
Excuse me, we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I asked if this was if this also increases early puberty in girls.
You can put it this way. It is true that in girls where there's early puberty, there are elevated levels of IGF-1, but part of what the argument is when you look at the levels that are in the milk compared to levels that are in the bloodstream, the levels in the bloodstream are much, much higher, from 20 to 80 times higher in the bloodstream. So, but there are studies that show, if you look at studies that have vegans or people that drink or don't drink milk, they do show that people that consume lots of milk, probably from high input animals, their serum levels of IGF-1 are about 10% higher than folks that don't drink any. So that tells us, because initially the company said no. First they said IGF-1 is a protein, therefore it's digested, so it isn't any problem at all. Bovine growth hormone is a protein, it's digested, we don't have to worry about it. But we always argue that, well, no, it does survive digestion, and in fact, the main protein that's in milk casein actually protects IGF-1 from digestion. We now know this, so they then switched their argument. They said, well, the level that it's at in the milk, say 5 to 10 nanometers per milliliter, in the bloodstream is up at 200 to 300. So then they argued, well, even if you absorbed everything that's in the milk, it's such a tiny percentage of what your body produces every day, there's no problem. But it turns out that's not true, so.
Okay.
And actually, Eden Foods was one of the first folks on this. That's the reason he said 1993. The product wasn't available on the market till 1990.
Actually, I misspoke. I banned it in 1991. But Michael said that the RBGH was approved in 1993, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was approved in the United States.
Yeah.
And Canada, I believe.
Nope, Canada.
Okay, well, it's banned in Europe, banned in Japan. I mean, the rest of the civilized world banned it. It was approved in the United States. Why? Because the same people that run the FDA, EPA, and USDA work for Monsanto. It's a revolving door. Thank you.
But maybe